Over $1 trillion we're going to invest in building up the manufacturing base of this country so that you guys, when you do go to war, when you have to go to war, you've got the best weapons anywhere in the world. We know from the long history of the United States of America that while the leading edge of American power is you all, it really matters what you guys have in your hands and what you guys have on your backs when you go to war. And so I promised you, from the President of the United States, we are going to send you, if we have to send you to war, with the best equipment, the best ammunition, the best weapons, and we are going to empower you guys to win when you have to. That's the purpose of the United States Marine Corps, am I right? So that's what we're going to do. And of course, I got some good news. You know, over the last few years, some of the military branches had some recruitment problems. Not the Marine Corps, actually. The Marine Corps was the one branch that consistently met its recruitment goals, and that probably has something to do with the fact that the Marine Corps is a little bit smaller, as you all know. But this year, now, we have got every single branch of the United States military for the past 2 months has been meeting its recruitment goals, because I think I see in your faces what we're seeing all across the country, a renewed sense of patriotism, a renewed commitment to excellence, and that is what is going to make the United States military the strongest fighting force anywhere in the world. Over $1 trillion we're going to invest.
Shalom, Yasharallah. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, or Chadash, and double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone. And peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Boise, Idaho camp. Salakia. And I just wanted to make this a PSA. Gentiles preparing for war. Amen. Because as you can see, this is the Vice President J.D. Vance, which is he's an ex and former Marine. They had a couple videos of him, at the shooting range, shooting with the Marines, going through different courses, practicing tactical training right there in the front lines with his men. The first so-called vice president that's doing that. And why is he doing that? Well, if brothers have ever been in the military, I have not. I just know of these things, testimonies, brothers that have been, family, cousins, the government always treats its military better under a Republican president. Under a Democratic president, you get the fucking weirdos popping up in there and fucking Transformers walking around in the same barracks as the women. That's what you get under a Democratic president. And the fact that the Republicans are more what the word is called a neocon, which is like a neo-colonist, which means they want to go to war with these other nations. They are salivating to go and get their sword sharper, increase their military strength. And as you can say here, I believe it was a slip of the tongue. That's just me speaking as a man personally. I believe that when he said when you are going to war, he meant to say if you have to go to war, because he knows it's an inevitable action. That's one thing that stuck out to me. He knows that the manufacturing is going to have to be inside the United States because that's what they're investing in. They're not investing in the agricultural. I'm gonna bring Joel 3, here in a little bit, but they're not investing in the cultural and economic and industrial side and repairing half of these shitty ass bridges and water systems and polluted fucking water pipes that lead to people's houses that drink. No, they want to spend money on these factories, on killing machines that are able to kill more people at once type thing, man. They want to get the more numbers in the recruitment because they know they're making so many enemies across the world that they're going to need those numbers and need those dumb young men because the jobs are failing. So when jobs are failing and you have no young men with drive, they're not getting into construction because they're effeminate. They don't want to work hard. Or some people are just downright lazy, whatever. I'm not saying like every man has to be in construction, but I'm talking about like really hard work, getting down and doing what you got to do. So these motherfuckers are going to college and getting these 4-year degrees coming out and getting a job that's starting at 17 or 1850, man, with hella requirements and experience required when you've been in school sitting down learning nothing, man, not knowing that those FAFSA sheets that you signed to get extra government aid is actually putting your ass on the front line of what this Edomite is talking about. Right there with some bootstraps on, some M16 in your hand and a fucking heavy ass helmet on your head, running around with some weight on your back, man. That's what the life that some of these people and a lot of Jake is going to choose because of, for one, out of desperation. For two, there's going to be a draft eventually that's going to be coming. And for three, there's literally going to be no choice of really what you can do. Because during World War II, a lot of the people that came back to work, they went and got government and factory jobs, making bombs, making bullets, even kids, even women had to get in the factories and start building, for the war effort, So again, this is the prophecy that has taken place, talking about that these Gentiles are preparing for war. These other heathen nations ultimately getting ready to fight Yahushua when he cracks those clouds. And this a mass of military armament increase is just getting ready for what they know is inevitable all-out war. This is Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. As you heard in that video, the recruitment levels are no longer a problem here in Babylon the Great, because it is a common thing. If you live in America for a long time, you know that the Republicans are a lot more patriotic, so-called, than the Democrats. So again, it's just a facade, because we know Esau controls both sides. He's the man behind the curtain, fucking shit up, playing God when he's on both sides of the problem. So continuing, this is verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So again, they're not investing in the industrial, economic, agriculture, or even put some fucking artwork on the street or something. That's not some weirdo, man. You know how dull it is here in Babylon? They got no fancy lights like you see over there in China. They got no sculptures as you're walking. They got no public parks. They got a bunch of fucking concrete crack needles, trash everywhere, some fucking loud ass sirens, and some shitty ass non-architectural, no salt buildings, man. They look like boxes everywhere. So this place, people are realizing ain't it, man. But again, they're not investing into that. They're investing into the military aspect, because we know Washington D.C. is one of the three unclean spirits that Esau is, in the fact that they represent his main power structures. One of the three, and Lord willing, I'll get that scripture after this. I wanted to read this, but you have the Vatican, which is the spiritual. You have London, which is the economic, financial sector, where they control things, and then you have here Babylon the Great in Washington D.C. that controls the military industrial complex of the world. Being Esau's world, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Esau has set up major hubs of areas that control these things. Every tool has a certain job, and Esau knows that he can't just have, everything all in one, which is according to prophecy. So he didn't even do it out of his own free will. So again, not to get too super deep, but continuing. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather. Salakia, I don't think Salakia, I'm going to read verse 10 again, because there's a point I forgot to bring out. Salakia, this is Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So again, the weak is these other nations that have the nuclear capabilities. They have nuclear missiles, so that's why these other countries are talking big shit against Babylon the Great, and these conflicts are increasing throughout the world, because now Babylon the Great is having these other countries step up. You know how you have a fighter saying, who wants to take me next? Who wants this ass whooping next? And then you have that big guy come out from behind the crowd with some big old muscles on, and that guy talking big shit's got to fight him, So, hey, man, you talking that big shit, and these other nations came up, man. They stepped up and was like, oh, you talking that shit? All right, let's go. And now it's a problem. Now Babylon the Great is gonna have to fight dirty, bring out a fucking little ice pick or some brass knuckles he put behind his shit. So when that big dude comes up, boom, and that's these nuclear missiles, but these other countries got them too. This is verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. So, hey, man, the mighty ones are these soldiers, and ultimately, when Yahweh Shai cracks the clouds, the mighty ones are going to be as well the angels that are going to put hell on these so-called mighty men and warriors of this world, man, which ain't nothing on even a single angel or Yahweh Shai or the elect men that are going to get spiritual powers in these last days to put a spiritual and a physical ass whooping on Esau. Man, he getting the spiritual ass whooping right now. In every major city or region, you have brothers that are in a great millstone camp speaking the truth out there, man. So, hey, man, he's getting the spiritual ass whooping right now. This has gone to the gates of the nobles. But this is verse 12. Joel 3 and 12, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Amen, because that's where Yahweh Shai is going to make his appearance. And again, I was trying to look up an article for it, but all I could find was a TikTok video and the last People's Liberation Army parade that happened. But I guess they're going to do another one in 2025, and this is just off TikTok. I couldn't find an article, so I'm just putting the information out there with a grain of salt, that China is going to have another large military exercise, and they're actually going to invite other countries. So what type of countries are you think going to show up? And this is all speculative. We're thinking this is what it's going to be, but imagine Iran and Russia showing their military as well, marching next to China. What a type of what a show that would be. So I wanted to get three unclean spirits. Salakia, y'all bear with me. It's Revelation 16 and 13. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So again, those are just labeling the different sectors that I was talking about London, UK, London, the Vatican, and Washington D.C. And that's just the scripture to qualify it. I wanted to get one more. Oh, I wanted to show you a video that I saw as well that I had cropped from. This is, if brothers know this page,
to nuke Iran. In fact,
this is the Canadian prepper, and I guess, this is just some information that he's got. He's got a lot of buddies in the military, so if I know brothers have done videos on this man, Canadian prepper, his information is on point, and he does have really good, sources that he gets. So, that's why I trust using this video, but the point of this video that I wanted to bring is that the U.S. has sent stealth bombers to Diego Garcia Air Base to strike Iran, which is Diego Garcia Air Base is one of the most forward operating bases that we use to stage operations in the so-called Middle East and the East Indian Sea, which I'll just let this video play for a little bit. I don't think I'm going to let the whole thing play, but you can go look at his YouTube channel, which is called The Canadian Prepper, and you can look and see what this is talking about. Because again, man, they're getting ready. They're getting ready. I'm going to let this video play.
boy, I told you guys 2 days ago that they were getting ready to nuke Iran. In fact, I think I even used something like this that you're seeing behind me here in the thumbnail, and I can't believe they're actually going to do it. I'm still in disbelief, because here we are. They're getting ready to pull the trigger. Your world is about to change. Now, we have confirmation that a half dozen, possibly 7 of the 20 B-2 stealth bomber fleet is being forward deployed. I repeat, a half dozen stealth bombers being forward deployed to Diego Garcia Air Base, which is south of the Maldives in the Indian Ocean. This is one of 2 very critical U.S. air bases in the Indo-Pacific. And that, of course, is going to put Yemen and Iran in striking distance. Now, I highly doubt you would need such a massive force for Yemen, especially considering you have all of these aircraft carriers headed to Yemen as we speak. I think there's going to be 4 in total if you add up all of the aircraft carriers of the coalitional forces. So they're getting ready for something major, guys. Now, in order to do Iran, you either need tactical nuclear weapons or you need massive ordnance penetrator bombs that can only be deployed on these big bombers, all right? And you're probably going to need a lot of them, which is why they're amassing so much force. Iran presumably has something the equivalent of an S-400 with good radars that could potentially definitely detect, the U.S.'s normal bombers, maybe even detect a stealth bomber. Who knows? If they can shoot down a stealth bomber, that's going to be a game changer if they can do it. If they can see it, they can shoot it down. They have the means of shooting it down. I mean, the Houthis are shooting down drones operating at 50,000 feet. There's no reason why the Iranians couldn't shoot down a bomber. Never before have the stars been aligned for the neocons in such a way to do Iran, and they probably never will be for years, decades, if ever again, in the way that they are right now. You have the most pro-Israeli government. Boy, I told you guys.
So again, that video was from the Canadian Prepper, and as you can see, they're getting ready, man. Either way, Esau's making chess moves, either if they're dry runs or testing his maneuvering capabilities, making sure his Air Force bases can handle that volume of planes, whatever it is, man. But as you can see, that's just another report going out.
Boy,
that these devils are getting ready, man. So hey, man, keep an eye on that Levant region. Because, hey, man, a lot of prophecy about to go down. But Lord willing that this lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Baruch Kodash, and double honors again to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.